once more into the hallowed halls of justice. Hopefully we can actually make a little bit more headway this time. That'd be nice. So what do you think, Mr. Wright? I think the prosecution is as confused as we are, which I'm gonna say is probably good. After all, the victim was murdered in 2 different places at the same time. Oh, and a different suspect was arrested at the other crime scene. Lana! Good morning, Mr. Wright. I apologize for yesterday. I was indisposed. I hope they didn't hold you too long for questioning. We just finished, actually. I'm used to all-nighters, though. So, how'd it go? How do you think, really? Honestly, what do you genuinely think? It's as Mr. Wright suspects. The police are clueless. I figured as much, so I struck a plea bargain. A plea bargain? What do you mean by that? We agreed that if I told them the truth behind this simultaneous murder, they wouldn't seek capital punishment. That's what I mean, Emma. But Lana, don't tell me you... Much to my regret, I'm as much in the dark about this as they are. Miss Skye, We discovered traces left by a certain person in the police department's evidence room, and it's extraordinarily interesting. I feel like you might, get some get some knowledge out of this, They belong to Officer Jake Marshall. You found Officer Marshall's traces? Blood-stained fingerprints, to be exact. Yeah. That's the trump card I have up my sleeve today. Let's all hope that that's good enough. You do understand what this means, don't you? In order to defend my sister, you're going to accuse Mr. Marshall? We have to play the cards we're dealt. Isn't that right, Miss Skye? Do what you have to, Mr. Wright. I don't give a blip. Hey. Alright. Wow, 10 a.m. on the dot. Is that how it's always been? Never noticed before, I guess. Court is now in session for the trial of Miss Lana Skye. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Let's hope that Edgeworth is a little less, explodey. Hey, there we go. The prosecution is... humph. Oh, well, that's certainly not a good sign. I'm afraid you'll have to clarify. It takes 30 minutes by car to reach criminal affairs from the prosecutor's office. The victim, Bruce Goodman, was slain at both places at the same time. But that's not physically possible, is it? Unless we have some sort of matter displacement. What's more, I hear the victim from the evidence room just disappeared. Yes, and the body eventually reappeared in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car. So, my overall theory is the man was killed in one place and then moved over into the other. I just don't know how. Wow, this is one messed up trial. One of my duties as prosecutor is to present impartial evidence. Today, I will present evidence related to the murder of the police department. In so doing, I believe the way in which we should proceed will reveal itself. Now, that's what sets Mr. Edgeworth apart. He sounds so on top of things, even though he doesn't know what's going on himself. And that's supposed to be an admirable trait. He runs in head first, hoping for the best. Very well, let the trial resume. On the day of the crime, what exactly transpired at the police department? Mr. Edgeworth, you may call your first witness of the day to the stand. Which means we've got more than one. Okay. For its first witness, the prosecution calls the suspect of the murder that occurred at the police department. The suspect? You mean the so-called murderer? Rubble. Whew, boy. Things are getting wild from the get-go. Oh yeah, we're already jumping in like waist deep in this unbelievable muck. It'd be kind of awful if we had to start back from the top. We've already spent so much time digging. Will the witness please state his name and occupation, and in a way that's not loud or annoying? Yes, sir. I am Officer Mike Meekins, sir. My occupation is, that would be murderer, sir. It's gonna be one of those days. So you're telling us you're a professional killer? Sir, it was me, sir. I'm the one who did it. I'll never kill anyone again, sir. You've got to believe me, sir. Actually, what we'd like to hear from you is, sir, I'm what you may call part of the younger generation, sir. A person whose actions adults can't possibly comprehend. Please, Mr. Edgeworth, sir, help me, sir. Officer Meekins. Yes, sir. Please make me stop saying sir. Give us a report of the crime. Consider that an order. Yes, sir, as you wish. After all, I am part of the generation that must be told what to do, sir. You can't fault him for a lack of enthusiasm. But you can't fault him for a lack of just about any other personality trait. My God, y'all got problems. Alright, what's the story? Although it's not my normal duty, I was assigned to guard the evidence room that day. I spotted a suspicious man on the security screen and rushed into the room, where events took place. I was only doing what I was trained to do, sir. I was suddenly attacked. I fought for my life. Then I did it! After that, I passed out, until another officer smacked me awake. Ah, short and to the point. Huh. So the victim, Detective Goodman, attacked you? Do unto others before they do unto you! That's the Meekins family motto, sir. That is a really screwed up motto you got yourself there. I see. Then you fainted, and a colleague helped you regain consciousness. Yes, sir. He knocked me upside the head, sir. Very well. The defense may begin its cross-examination. What I need here is more info to work with. Which means we gotta press every single thing he says. Hopefully, you know, and pick apart this whole mess. Try and get some sort of nugget of information we don't got otherwise. Why were you assigned to this location at that day? Mr. Meekins, you work in the General Affairs Department, do you not? Yes, sir. I am in charge of hiring new recruits, sir. Aren't you? Okay, wow, now there's a scary thought. Yes, like I thought you were a new recruit. Evidence transferal was taking place on the day of the crime, which meant many officers were given special tasks not ordinarily performed. Oh, okay. I was in charge of guarding the Blue Badger, sir. The Blue Badger? I knew he'd come into play somehow. Yes, sir. The lovely police mascot created by the head detective, sir. And there goes his crazy dance yet again. I was to ensure it wasn't broken during the transferal process. That was my sole mission for the day, sir. Then explain the duct tape on his head. He still doesn't look like a badger. This is important, I feel. I see. Sounds like a very, important mission. After the award ceremony finished that day, there were so many people running around that I relocated the Blue Badger to the evidence room. Oh, so that's why you went to the evidence room. Tell us, what did you see when you got there? It was a suspicious man with a suspicious plan, with suspicious motives, no doubt. Although I'm guessing it was Marshall at this point. I mean, bloody handprints and what have you. It just kind of makes sense. In order to enter the evidence room, you need an ID card, am I correct? Precisely, sir. I have one right here around my neck. So then, your ID number should be listed in here, right? Oh, that'd be good. All right, let's see. What you got? What you got? What you got, sir? There, okay, hi, there it is. I found it. This is the one right here. Could you please read us the number? It'd be really nice. Yes, sir. Okay, there we go. It's 4989596. Okay, now hang on a second, though. I want to look at that again. I was kind of hoping I'd get both pieces of information at the same time. All right. And you said it was the 49 thingamabobs? I already completely forgot. 498959. They're pretty distinct. I should be able to figure that out. Okay. Okay. So then you went in twice. Okay, so you went once in 450 and again at 514. All right. So wait, hang on a second. Wait a second. Okay, so you went there to put the Badger there. Now, I've already completely forgotten. Did you put the Badger there and that's why you were there? Or were you going back to get... Oh, boy. Okay, well, whatever. I'm sure that probably means something. I see. Huh? But the number... This one... Okay, I guess we're already getting into it. Is shown as being used twice. Please explain, witness. It's no real mystery, sir. The first time is when I relocated Blue Badger to the evidence room, and the second time is when I went to go get him after everything settled down. But, I kind of thought I was onto something there. I see. So it was during that second time when... Yes, sir, that was when I spotted the man on the security screen. Oh, okay, well, apparently it was important enough to be updated. So I did a good. Okay, you were suddenly attacked. So you were attacked. Can you please tell us exactly what happened to you? It was a knife, sir, a knife. Detective Goodman pulled a knife on you? What happened then? Well, with me charging in on him like that, he looked as surprised as I was. You aren't exactly the kind of person someone would want to run into. That's when I reacted, sir. I swung my arms like an octopus, struggling to detain him. And that would be why, Octo-Dad is not a police officer, although that would be kind of funny. That's how I got this gash on my hand. Maybe if you just kept your cool, your hand wouldn't be... When I saw the blood trickling down my arm, I panicked. I grabbed the man by his collar. Oh, Okay, hang on a second. Did you grab the man by the collar with which hand? The bleeding hand? Because that would explain why blood would be going around there. I'm trying to get all the pieces here. What exactly do you mean? What exactly do you mean when you say you did it? I know I don't look the type, but I'm really into kung fu films, sir. The man let his guard down for just an instant. So I snatched his knife from him. You took his knife? I spun him around and performed a disarming maneuver. I made sure to close my eyes like a man. See. He must have been desperate. The next thing I knew, his white coat was drenched in a sea of blood. Ah, yeah, okay, so you grabbed it with your bloody hand. Interesting. Then, the next thing I knew, yes, he punched me right in my face, sir. Ow. After that, I passed out until another officer smacked me awake. All right, come on. What else we got here? About what time did you regain your consciousness? No offense, sir, but how am I supposed to know that? I was unconscious. Oh, right. According to the report from the officer that woke up the witness, it was about 5:30. He hit me right in the head, too. I woke up crying tears of pain. That's nice. I mean, it's nice that you recovered, that is. Judge, fed up with your nonsense. When I came around, though, I made sure to finish my mission, sir. Your mission? Yes, sir. The Blue Badger, sir. I returned him to the entrance before things got out of hand. Well, we can all rest easy now. I believe we now have a fairly accurate picture of what happened. Yes, Your Honor. Only one thing remains unclear. Was this man the officer murdered really the victim? He's got a point. Yes, Officer Meekins. Unveil your knowledge. With regard to that, sir. Take a look at this. It was sent to my cell. Chief Gant delivered it to me just this morning, sir. The Chief? Delivered it? What is that? A videotape? Man, we're in the future or something. What do we got the one with a videotape? Yes, sir. That's absolutely right, sir. A videotape, sir. It contains footage from the security camera in the evidence room. What? But I specifically asked if there was such a tape. And it was told, it had been mistakenly erased. That's quite a mistake. I just do what I'm told, sir. It's the only thing I'm really good at. Looks like communication with the police department is as good as ever. Well then, let's have a look. Show us the video of you murdering the victim. Oh, please stop using that word, murder, sir. It scares me. A video of a real murder? Just what are we getting ourselves into? Okay. Oh. What's up, Badger? Oh, 3D models? Well, that's just crazy talk. Oh, okay. Guy opens thing, falls out. Can't see his face. There's Meekins, very obviously being all Meekins-like. He sneaks up. Oh, I think he got cut. Oh, all right, whoa. A brawl then took place. Question is... Oh, okay, now he's on the floor. But where did Detective go? Okay, now there's something hanging out of the thing. Okay. Interesting. Well, I believe we're all thinking the same thing. How can we deal with these unsettling feelings stirred within us? What the hell was that wriggling piece of plywood? Sir, wow. Never thought I'd hear Edgeworth say that. What the hell was that? Sir, that is the pride and joy of the entire Criminal Affairs Department, sir. It's the Blue Badger, sir. Why am I not surprised this isn't going smoothly? Okay, so, alright, that's pretty interesting. I saw something just completely plop out of the vault when it was opened. And then, once all was said and done, the detective just straight up vanished, but then that piece of cloth showed up underneath the safe, or in the safe thingy. It wasn't there earlier. I was specifically scanning for stuff like that. Yes, well, anyway, this tape seems to prove that the witness did indeed encounter, someone, didn't see their face though, in the evidence room, and some sort of, activity did take place. Your Honor, instead of relying on clearly incomplete footage, the witness's testimony will suffice. Is that alright with you, Officer Meekins? Yes, sir, as you wish, sir. Explain some stuff, why don't you, sir? Alright, his face can't be clearly seen in the video, but there's no question that the other person was Detective Goodman, sir. I mean, he opened the locker, which required Detective Goodman's fingerprint to do so. The locker he opened is unquestionably Detective Goodman's locker, sir. So it must be him. No one else could have unlocked it. You know, fingerprints technology is actually really easy to trick. I don't know if we're going to be diving that deep into that fact, but I mean, it is something you can do. What's this about a fingerprint? Each detective has been given a locker equipped with a fingerprint-activated lock. These locks ensure that each locker can only be opened by the detective it belongs to. Intriguing. That would mean the victim at the crime scene would have had to have been Detective Goodman. Very well, the defense may begin its cross-examination. I don't know where this cross-examination will lead, but everything begins with contradictions. That's where I have to start. Alrighty then. I just have to try and use the information I have, and maybe get some more. That'd be nice. Indeed, it can't. Tell me, were you able to get a good look at him? At the face of the man who attacked you with a knife? So, sir, if you must label people as having seen or not seen the man's face, I believe I would be classified as the latter. The latter? But you were standing right in front of him, were you not? More to the point, you're the person who fought him, aren't you? Oh, yes, sir. But I didn't get a clear look at his face, sir. I'm not the kind of guy who looks directly at people when talking with them, you see. Yeah, that's a good trait for a police officer. Still, I'm sure it was him. I'll bet my badge on it. Well, then you, good sir, are probably about to lose your badge. How is there no question? But you don't know that for sure, do you? You never actually saw Detective Goodman's face. Well, I suppose you might say that. That is, if you must label people as having seen or not seen it. Since his face can't be identified in that video, only you can verify it. Why is everyone looking at me? If I had to label your stares as disturbing, or shut up. Meekins! Yoo-hoo-hoo! Having been shown a questionable video at best, we are not in the best of moods. Now please be more certain when you testify. Yes, sir. You claimed the man who brandished a knife on you was Bruce Goodman. Tell us why you are positive it was him. Just gotta press full info. He opened the locker. Right, it required his fingerprint and whatnot. About these lockers, is there no other way to open them? No, sir. I myself tried all kinds of methods in the past. They only really respond to registered fingerprints, sir. I wonder what kind of methods he tried. If the man opened the locker's lock, which only responds to its registered fingerprints, then he must be the person the locker was assigned to. Exactly my points. Whoa, hiccups. And this too. Oh. Okay, the locker he opened is unquestionably Detective Goodman's. All right. How do you know that information? I've heard rumors, sir, from people in the know, sir. People in the know? The workers in the department cafeteria, sir. They keep me informed. They also listen to my romantic troubles, sir. Okay. For the record, the open locker did indeed belong to Detective Goodman. I verified this information through a more reliable source. Huh. So the victim opened the locker with his own fingerprint. Okay, so it must be him. No one else could have unlocked it. Are you certain? Please give me something to work with. However, the most important detail is not shown in this video. The man's face. So, sir, if I may say something, sir, please do. After all, you are the one being examined. I don't understand why the man's face is so important in this case, sir. I mean, it was his hand that opened the fingerprint lock. And since it was his hand that tried to thrust his knife into my body, sir, my unsettled state can testify enough to this, sir. Yes, you have a point. The footage doesn't lie. That is, unless the defense can find a problem with it. Oh boy. Mr. Wright, let's check the court record again. Is there a problem with the security video? Well, yeah, there is. I mean, other than the cloth sticking out of the safe, which would imply that a second safe was opened with a different fingerprint, we also have the fact that he just sort of straight up disappears. So I'm gonna say, yeah. Regarding the video contained on this tape, there is one thing in particular that seems rather strange. Strange? This contradiction leads to the possibility that the man may not be Detective Goodman. What? This video contains such a contradiction? Interesting. Your Honor, I have a proposal. Yes, Mr. Edgeworth? I propose we have the defense point out to us this alleged contradiction in the video. He would want me to point it out. Probably too lazy to do it himself. Very well. Proposal accepted. Let us further inspect this piece of evidence. Oh boy. I will now play the security tape. Mr. Wright, please show us the contradiction you speak of. All I have is the cloth. Okay, I have to point out a problem in the video? This is the first time I've ever had to do that. You can do it, Mr. Wright. It's set up so you can fast forward, rewind, or pause the video. Just take a good look and be sure to point out the right thing. Please don't play it too many times. I can't stand watching this video. How did this guy ever become a police officer? Now then, Mr. Wright, please enlighten us. Where is the contradiction that indicates the man may not be Detective Goodman? Okay. So I can pause, and I can also fast forward. Okay. But yeah, see, it's definitely not there. Do I have to, like, can I, what am I don't know what those buttons are, they're too tiny. Hang on. Oh, okay. I didn't see the plus sign next to them. I have to, okay, yeah, I got this then. Like this. There we go. A thing falls out. I guess that's not too important at the moment. And then they get into a tussle of which the tusslings are very tussly. Okay, then he's cold knocked out, and then, out of nowhere, Bazanga, right? This thingy! Please be the thing. The thing that's strange about this video has got to be this! Ah, yes, that is strange. Something certainly seems unnatural about that. What could it mean? Sorry to interrupt, Mr. Wright, but you seem to have forgotten the point of this exercise. The point? What you are looking for is one thing and one thing only. Something that indicates the man may not be Detective Goodman. I thought I did that. Oh, yeah. Woo! I almost walked right into the defense's trap. What the? What is happening? Okay. I need to slow down and tackle things one piece at a time. Now, what do I do? Okay, well, play the video again. Okay, very well. Let's try this again, why don't we? Just remember one thing, Mr. Wright. Every time you point your finger, someone gets hurt. Edgeworth, why you gotta be all like this dude? Why can't we be friends? Why can't we be friends? But he's the one pointing his finger. That is also true. Okay, fine. Yet again, I will now play the security tape, so I guess that means I gotta point out the thing that, like... Well, no, because... Well, now I'm confused, because the thing that falls out of the safe doesn't help my case in any way. So what exactly am I supposed to be pointing out? Ay. Okay. I have to point out a problem in the video? Yeah, okay, yeah, we've done that. Alright, so I'm looking for a contradiction that specifically points out that it's not Goodman, that I guess... Am I supposed to point at the safe specifically? I didn't seem to get docked any points or anything. Or, you know, credibility or anything, so maybe. Alright, fine. We just gotta look around, I guess. Okay, that's my best guess. This thingy, right here. Ha-ta! Please let this be it. The thing that's strange about this video has got to be this. And it's apparently absolutely nothing. Okay, great. Awesome. Those are literally the only two things I could possibly think about. Okay, clearly I'm doing something wrong. All right, guys, just give me a minute. I'll figure this out. I promise. Wait a second. Okay, I think I get it. Hold up. Those lights above them, those only shine around like when they're open, right? So hang on. So then the locker is already opened? So then he wouldn't need the fingerprint at all. Please let this be it. The thing that's strange about the video is okay. For a second there I thought it was going the exact same way. Sir, do you mean me, sir? Yes, you. As I understand it. Oh, thank God. I actually did it. The locker apparatus works like this. Thank you, Gumshoe! When you grab the handle, a sensor reads your fingerprint. If the print matches... the registered data, the light turns on and the lock is released. According to my very limited experience, that's the way I understand it, sir. If so, then something is seriously wrong with this picture. All of them are off, except for that one, which is on before it's even opened by the dude. Ta-ta! When the victim reaches for the handle to open the locker, let's rewind it to a little bit earlier. Rewind. Space time. There we go. Nice belt. Yeah, there we go. Here, notice the light? What's this? It's already lit. Huzzay! Precisely my point, Your Honor. The locker was already open before the victim grabbed the handle. Boom shakalaka. What do you got to say about that noise? Order! Order! What's the meaning of this? It's very simple, Your Honor. The locker wasn't locked on the day of the crime. Oh, what say you, Sir Stuff-a-Lot? But the locker locks are controlled by an electric system. When a door is shut, a sensor is triggered, and the locker is automatically locked. Oh, I know. It must have been broken down. Of course, I'm not an expert in this. That's not likely, Your Honor. The sensor would detect and report any malfunction. Oh, well, it just goes to show novices should keep their mouths shut. So then, Mr. Wright, do you have an explanation? Me, Your Honor? Yes. Why wasn't the locker locked? Me, Your Honor? Okay. Yes, well, you see, this isn't exactly my field. What do you think, Miss Scientific Investigator? Huh? Oh, maybe something like jammed the electronic system? Something jammed the sensor? Say, there's something else that seems out of place in this video. Yeah, I thought so too. There's gotta be another clue somewhere in this footage. Okay, well, the glove did just kind of plop out for, like, with no rhyme or reason, so maybe that's why? They used the lock, they used the glove as some sort of, I don't even know what. Alright, so hang on, let's see. Fast forward a bit. And up, up. There you are, Mr. Glove. Yeah, you could have been used to, like, prop up a thing or two or something. Be relevant! Please watch closely. This is the continuation of the part I showed you earlier. Dun 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 dun, the badger dances now. Yet again, I sing the Metroid theme. Weird. And there we go. There it is. What's this? Something white fell out of the locker. But sir, it's been my experience that things fall out when doors are opened. I often fall out and roll great distances when I open. Oh, okay. No one cares, Meekins. We can't be sure that the item was in the locker to begin with. What do you mean? The sensor triggers the lock when the door is shut. What if something was inserted, say, between the sensor and the door? Inserted? You know, if we just had two separate cameras instead of this one oscillating one, we might actually be able to make a lot more sense of this. This white thing wasn't inside the locker. It was stuck between the door and the sensor. Oh, I understand now, sir. It's just like my tie. 2 out of 3 times it gets stuck in the door when I get out of my patrol vehicle, sir. Instead of the door closing, my tie chokes me. But the object would have to be extremely thin to fit in the door. Not only that, it would also have to block electrical currents. Like, say, a rubber glove? It's an insulator, but at the crime scene, there just might have been something that fits that description. But sir, by insulator, you don't mean... I think I finally got this figured out. Very well. Will the defense please present the relevant evidence? What was the insulating thingamabobber? Did I get that glove? Yes, I did! Ha-ha! We're made of rubber! I found this near the locker, a thin rubber glove. But we can't be sure that was in the victim's locker. It has a tag that says SL9 incident. What? The video seems to depict the victim opening the locker. But that isn't the case. The lit lamp attests to this. Alliteration, my only weakness. On the day of the crime, even I could have opened that locker. Is that not so, Officer Meekins? It would appear so, sir. Did he just make a chicken noise? Order! 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 So are we to believe, then, that the victim whom this witness stabbed in the evidence room was not Detective Goodman? Do not be misled, Your Honor. What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth? The defense has merely demonstrated that possibility and nothing more. Is this where I bust out the cloth in the safe? The victim in the video was indeed Bruce Goodman. The prosecution will offer one more testimony to prove this. What? Officer Meekins, please testify about this. Sir, me, sir? I'm not sure what you're referring to, sir. Oh, you mean that, sir? Of course, sir. Is this a joke? Very well. Begin your testimony. Lord Meekins, you are one tough nut to crack. You're a very tough nut to, I guess, a very weak nut that's hard to put back together. But I guess you could say that about any nut that you've smashed. I don't know. There's one thing that proves the man was Detective Goodman, sir. To enter the evidence room, one must use their ID card. When an ID card is used, there's a record of it. At the time of the crime, the detective had used his card. Or someone else had taken it because of the... Wait! Because of the... Aha! A lost item report! Because he lost his ID because somebody took it in order to do this nonsense. It all makes sense! Aha! I have the ID card record right here, Your Honor. As do I. Get off my biz. Yes, indeed. He used it. The ID used at 5:14 is that of the victim. All you gotta do is take it. Just before the crime, Yes, without a doubt, this is the victim's ID. However, one thing does strike me as unusual. Several hundred cases should have been due for transferal. Why were there so few people using this room? This particular evidence room is only used for storing certain special cases. Special cases? Extremely violent cases involving police staff. Just hearing that makes my hair stand on end. Me too, although it doesn't make much of a difference. Spiky head. There were only a few cases up for transferal there, and most were cleared up by noon. Right, I see. Now let us move on to the cross-examination. Alright, so I've got this noise figured out. I just have to prove that it got stolen, I guess. There's one thing that evidence room, an ID card says a record of it. At the time of the crime, the detective had used his card. Or had he? Earlier, I believe you testified that when you asked this man to show his ID card, he pulled a knife on you. Yes, sir. He didn't show me any ID card, sir. Don't you think that's odd? I mean, if he had his ID card, all he had to do was show it to you. There wouldn't be any reason to draw a knife. Maybe he just panicked? Everything stems from contradictions. Let's point them out. Mr. Wright, what do you think? I'm confused. What? The problem with this ID card testimony is far too obvious. It's not like Edgeworth to miss something like this. You're thinking too hard about it. Come on, let's show them what we've got. I mean, all I can think of is... I mean, this is really the only thing I can think of. Please work! Wait 1 moment, Officer Meekins. The music stopped, so I think I did a good. I'm not good at waiting, sir. You're not good at much. Ba-dum-bump. I have the victim's ID card right here. I found it at the crime scene. That makes sense. No, it doesn't, you stupid fool. When I say crime scene, I'm not referring to the evidence room at the police department. I mean the other crime scene. The underground parking lot at the prosecutor's office. You know, the 30-minute drive. Your Honor, I have one more piece of evidence to present. We do. It's a very important clue regarding the victim's ID card. Oh, right, the thing I actually picked. Lost item report? It's only half completed. But it shows that Detective Goodman had lost something on the day of the crime. Something important enough to fill out this report. Let me guess. You believe this something to be his ID card, right? I can't say for sure, but there is a high probability. On the day of the crime, Detective Goodman was not carrying his card. The rubbles have continued. Order, order! So now, what does this all mean? It can only mean one thing. It doesn't require much thought. The man Officer Meekins encountered in the evidence room was not Detective Goodman, but rather the man who stole his ID card. And merely, I guess, just dressed up in a coat and hat. Where he got those, nobody knows. Doesn't really matter. Does the prosecution have a response? I have only one thing to say to the defense. Please don't make me look like a doober. I ain't no goober. Bravo, Mr. Wright. But, bravo. Nobody ever compliments me. What's your angle? Allow me to summarize the defense's argument. At 5:15 p.m. on the day of the crime, the man Officer Meekins encountered in the evidence room was not Detective Goodman. There are 2 grounds to support this. You know, the things I pointed out. First, the locker in the evidence room was already unlocked. Second, the victim lost his ID card. Am I correct so far, Mr. Wright? Yes. What's he up to? That brings the case we must inevitably arrive at a single conclusion. If the victim in this video is a fake, then the murder in the evidence room is also fake. In other words, the security camera does not show the instant of the murder. That is... Well, I guess that's right? Yeah? Is something wrong, Mr. Wright? I don't know. Where are you going with this? Only moments ago, you seemed content to be pointing your finger around. Well, now you are. You know when to talk. This isn't good. Oh, but ominous music. Well, it seems you finally realized exactly what you've gone to such lengths to prove. Explain yourself, Mr. Edgeworth. The defense has already done the explaining for me. The victim in this video is a fake, which means a murder did not take place at the police department at 5:15 on the day of the crime. So the real crime could only take place in one location, the underground parking lot at the prosecutor's office. The murderer being Miss Sloniskei, the defendant. The evidence is compelling. A trustworthy witness observed the moment of the defendant use the murder weapon. Ah, dingleberries. I just disproved the only thing that kept this entire trial going. I knew that testimony was way too shabby. It was all a trap from the beginning. The activity in the evidence room still leaves many questions unanswered. Who exactly was the victim Officer Meekins encountered? And where did the person disappear to? However, this trial's purpose is to examine only the murder of Detective Goodman. Oh, butts. Just so, Your Honor. Mr. Wright, you have to do something or else Lana... Oh, butts. Butts a la mo. What do I do? How am I supposed to get myself out of this mess? I am gonna have to object, I guess! One moment, Your Honor! What now, Mr. Wright? Don't tell me you're objecting to what you've just proven. No, of course not. But I almost walked right into the prosecution's trap. What are you talking about? The cross-examination has proven one thing and one thing only. The security video did not show the actual murder. But the guy still disappeared, and the cloth. Never forget the cloth. See, there it is, right there. However, it cannot be said that it is unrelated to the murder in the parking lot. I guess, okay? Specifically, large amounts of blood traces were found in the evidence room. The defense demands further examination into the truth of the matter. Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, Your Honor. If this court were to examine this further, other witnesses will be necessary. Is the prosecution prepared? I'm sorry, Your Honor. The prosecution considered this incident at the police department to be unrelated. We have not prepared any other witnesses for this incident. Okay. This just might be my chance. Time to call a certain Texas Ranger to the stand. Mr. Wright, do you mean... Yes, my mind-reading friend, Your Honor. The defense would like to request a specific witness. Oh? Whom do you have in mind? Someone we have reason to believe knows the truth. The truth behind the activities that took place in the evidence room. The prosecution requests to hear this person's name before deciding whether or not to comply. But... Very well then, Mr. Wright. This person with whom you would have testify, what is his or her name? Get that cowboy all up in this place right now! Officer Jake Marshall. Why him? Because he's the one who done did the thing! I can't let him know just everything yet. He's in charge of the evidence room. I feel we should hear what he has to say. The prosecution agrees to the defense's request. Since he was responsible for guarding the room, we should hear his testimony. Thank you! Fortunately, he works in the police department. We shouldn't need longer than 20 minutes to prepare. Whew! Very well. The court will take a 30-minute recess while the witness is... subpoenaed? I think? Would the prosecution please prepare the witness during this time? We will, Your Honor. Court in recess. Gavel, gavel.